Hey guys, how's it going? Um, Sorry that was a weird entrance, but different filming location, the other side of my living room. So how's it going? Um, and yes, we're gonna play with the camera some because that's apparently what we do. Um, how's everyone? It is Saturday. It is about 2:30 in the afternoon. It's the 19th. Um, and of course, the big news in the metal community today is, of course, the Medis are on tonight. Um, which unfortunately I cannot attend. I do have a show because if I did not, I would more than likely be there, even though it's single digits. But I believe the same thing happened last year, which is gonna have to talk to Bill and maybe not do the ceremony in January. But anyway, um, so yeah, so I've got a show at the terminal. But yeah, but other than that, that's about all that's going on. It's a 3-day weekend for a lot of us because it's Martin Luther King Jr. Day on Monday, um, which is always fun. Excuse me, having that extra day off. If you do, cheers. If you do, enjoy it. But today, I thought I would finally make the video that I've kind of been hinting at and promising at for a while now, going back and reviewing some of my old vids. It's gotten kind of crazy. Um, so we're gonna call this one "Putting Stuff on Stuff." Um, so we'll start with this. So we're talking about uh, patches and writings and buttons and whatnot that you put on your outer attire. Um, so we will begin with, and I temporarily forgot about this one. Technically, I did one of these. I don't even know when I actually put this together, but mid 90s sometime, maybe late 90s. But this is the first one. Your lovely rusty tan Levi's jean jacket. We'll start with the front. I mean, some of these I think are newer additions. Um, let's see, how good can we get those? So I don't know if you can see those at all, but that one is a zombie and it says brains. That one is a Jimi Hendrix pewter guitar. Lovely. And then a great late 90s, early 2000s cartoon on Cartoon Network, of course, Dexter's Laboratory. And on the other side, we have another Dexter. We have tie-dye peace sign, and we have a very, very classic comic book Thor. Not that I'm a huge comic book guy, but I don't know. I just dug it. I thought it was cool. Um, I also went with this leather piece here. Has a little bead on it. You can see that just for a little decoration. Then the only other thing attached is, there we go. If we can kind of see that, Black Crowes Amorica, our bus tour, 95, 96, which is why I'm guessing that's probably the time when I made the jacket. And if you can see this, let's see. If you can read that, good for you. If not, it says Allman Brothers Band 1969 and 1972, and I drew a little mushroom there. Because I'm one of those jerks who believe that after Dwayne died, the band just wasn't the same. After Dwayne and Barry died, band just wasn't the same. And then Blind Melon written there. And then I just did some accents. With just like Sharpie on both sides, and on the collar, which you can kind of see there. So yeah, that was kind of my first stab at something like this, which I didn't even think about it. I just kind of did it. So then, let's get into current. So this is a jacket most people have seen me in. This is the one where I really started to go for it. It's obviously incomplete, and I have a lot more, and I'll bring out my box of things to put on things here in a little bit. But so this guy right here. There we go. That Blood War patch. First patch I ever got. Actual like patch. I mean, I had some when I was a kid. You get like State Fair. I think I had like a Poison one and a Metallica one and maybe a Motley Crue one or something. But this is the first like local band patch I ever got, and I believe I got it at the terminal. And I bought a bunch of those. I think I bought. It was only my first or second time seeing Blood War, and so I picked up like a T-shirt and a CD and what have you. So got the patch as well. This one has a funny little story behind it, because this is from a band. This way and then this way, and kind of there we go. Still don't know how to work the camera. There we go. So this is from a band called At Morning's End, M-O-U-R. They don't exist anymore. But I found them on Facebook and became a huge fan. And it's funny because this is actually from well, I'll tell the story first. So I was at Lee's for a show wearing this jacket, and the guitar player from, I want to say he's in Endless Rain, but I'm not sure. Commented on it. He was like, "Oh, that's cool. I didn't know we made patches." So I'm assuming he once was a member of At Morning's End. And I was like, no, I had a T-shirt that was too small, and I, sacrificed it and made the patch. He's like, "Oh, that's cool." So yeah, this is from a T-shirt, and the rest of the shirt, which I have on another vest, I'll show you in a little bit. And then of course, you gotta have some buttons, and that. Okay, we'll start with that one. So if you can see that, that's Lucid Flight, my buddy's Lucid Flight. And that one is, if we can focus, Hex Vortices, which you can't really see, but that's okay. Hex Vortices being one of my favorite bands out there right now. They're just awesome. Old school thrash at its best. So, the other button I have on here is from one of my new favorite bands. That's Fix the Glitch. Fronted by James Schmidt, who's a hell of a guy. And anything that he does, you should go check out, because he's a really cool dude. Then I had this. Garage Orphans, which is the band I was in. Simultaneously is when I was in Outlaw Saint the first time, with Ed, their guitar player, and Dave, who is now the bass player in ODA, and the singer named Tommy, who is now in a band called Elephant in the Room, I believe. So you should go check them out. And he had before I joined, because this is a band he had, and then it kind of went away. And then when he started playing with me and Dave, because Dave was already an Outlaw Saint, I came in. He liked the rhythm section that we created, so we decided to revive Garage Orphans, which we did, and we did a bunch of shows, and it was fun. We were basically the house band of the Terminal that summer. I think we played once a month. Um, but he had some T-shirts made up, and after his passing, I had to commemorate that. Um, so yeah. Um, what else do we got? So we have the vault. Um, Again, outside of the Blood War patch, all these are taken from T-shirts that were too small or whatnot, or that I had extra of. Um, so the Vault is a band I saw at the Terminal, and I kind of remember them. But the thing I remember more is about I was talking to them. I think Jerry was there too, my buddy Jerry, um, and we were talking to him after, and he was saying, "Yeah, this is cool, but I think you'd like our other band better." Or is like the drummer and the bass player, I want to say, because they were also in this band called Pandemic Inc., who I think is kind of revived now. They might still be searching for members. I'm not sure, but that being said, the Vault was awesome that night, and I also learned about Pandemic, which I finally saw at Opinion, and was blown away by. And then when I first joined Strike, we were practicing in this music store with rehearsal spaces in the basement, and it turns out that Pandemic was in one of those. So I got to know Chuck a little bit, which is cool. So yeah, looking forward to seeing either Pandemic or the Vault again. Keep an eye out for both those. Then we have the Melismatics, and I've talked about the Melismatics before, going back to '95. Was in this band Stupid Jerk. Ryan Smith was also in that band. He was already doing kind of solo stuff when he was in Jerk. I think he put out his first solo release, I believe, in '93. 97 he puts out his first solo album. 98 or 99 he puts out his first release as Ryan Smith and the Melismatics, and then by 2001 I believe they just became the Melismatics and have gone on to fame and fortune since then, and they're really cool and you should check them out. They're playing next show I think they're doing in town is St. Patrick's Day at the Uptown VFW. So check that out. And the final patch I have is, of course, Voltron, our old childhood friend. The lion one, not the stupid car one. Just for something different. Just for, because, I mean, bands are great and everything, but this is, and they are. I'm not being negative about that, but it's good to the great thing about these vests is, and doing this kind of thing, is that you can show all of your interests, which is very cool. So we'll do this one real quick since it's here. So of course you have the Hate Me sweatshirt, which everybody has seen. And if you don't have one, you should pick it up because it's a really, really nice warm sweatshirt, and it's like awesome. But on here, for buttons, and we'll see how easy this is to read. Pyralis, maybe it's pronounced Pyralis. That's that white one. Second one over, which you can't really see. And going closer doesn't help. But anyway, that's Coffin Rot. Next one over is Wolf Mask. Wolf Mask? Yes, Wolf Mask.
and then Outlaw Saint, self promotion, blah blah blah. Another Hex Vortices, and then Gabriel and the Apocalypse.
So that's who I'm representing on pretty much a daily basis until it gets too cold and I can't wear that anymore. And then this is an actual battle vest that I started. So we'll start over here. So after a while, I just started collecting patches, and eventually I'll get around to completing some of these and getting more in depth. But I have this one, which is Deadeye's Always Dreaming, who I saw again at, I believe, the terminal, and they just kicked ass. They're a good band. Aboleth, I think that's how you pronounce it, is Aboleth. I saw these guys at Lee's at the Raven Black show, which I did a separate video on because it turned into kind of a nightmare. But those, they were really good. They're the trio that guitar, drums, vocals, and the guitarist had either some sort of down-tuned pedal or harmonizer or something to make it sound like more than one guitar. But in that configuration, they did a pretty convincing version of Judas Priest's Painkiller, which I was always impressed with. So I got the album, got the patch. Did not get a T-shirt. I should at some point. Hopefully they'll continue to tour, because I don't remember where they're from, but they're not from here, obviously. And I don't think they're even Midwestern. I think they're from LA. But if you have a chance to check them out, because they're pretty kick-ass. So here we just have some old school metal buttons. The red one is a Testament. The yellow one, I believe, is the new kind of Anthrax logo. Or maybe that's just Pentagram. Nope, that's the Anthrax logo. If you look at it this way, you can kind of see an A. Old Megadeth P cells. I mean, not old. I mean, they're newer buttons. They're not from 1986, but and then the classic. Focus. I suppose saying "fuck you" would be inappropriate, which it almost always is, but you really, really want to. So over here we have Glory Hole Guillotine, which is still one of the best names I've ever heard. I'm sorry, that's just a good name. We have Arrows at Dawn, and this is an old the rubber bracelets that I just snipped and then sewed at each end, which seems to work out fairly well. And good way to add some nice texture, if you will. And then Fishbone, one of the coolest bands on the planet. And then from an old wristband I had, let's see if we get this in. And you're not going to be able to see that. The old, for us old fogies, the old Headbangers Ball logo. Back when MTV still played music and metal was still metal, and there we go. Then over here I have a couple of repeats on buttons. I have another Lucid Flight, which is that guy there. I have another Fix a Glitch, and then we have My Zero, who are also very cool. And remember the At Morning Zen t-shirt? Well, here's the rest of it. I am the Wolfsbane. I had to put that on there. And then that last one, that big one, is a band called Archer. They're now called Archer Nation. Archer Nation. And this is the album that they were promoting at the time, which was 2015, I believe. Calling of the Week. They're an awesome band. They're a trio out of Southern California. And I saw them when they came up here with Hell Yeah. And I don't think they were even on the bill. They weren't even announced or anything. They just kind of came on stage and blew the place apart. So, yeah. So I was immediately at their merch booth after. Got a CD, got a signed CD actually, and a t-shirt, and it was one size too small, so I couldn't really wear it. I mean, I did for a little bit, and then I tried to sew it, take off the print, the graphic, and sew it onto another shirt, and that didn't really work. So now it's ended up on the back of there. So we'll see how that goes. But they're awesome too. You should totally check them out. So now, my box of other stuff you put on stuff. For buttons, I mean, I have my Endless Rain. I have another Hex Vortices, another Gabriel Apocalypse. I have my Little Pride, I think, somewhere. So yeah, my Little Pride right there. So I got more buttons to do. I've discovered that you can kind of take apart can koozies, because I don't really use can koozies. You can kind of peel off the graphics, and I'm going to use those as patches. So I have a Gorgatron one. And it's in 7. And, well, this is from the Zealots. I probably won't do anything with this. Hook and Ladder, which is just a cool converted firehouse into a theater, which is awesome. Then I have some more, which I think I already showed. Oh, I have a Cultura one with new logo and old logo and old logo. And I have some more. And then actual patches, we have Sisters of Suffocation, which if you don't know them, you should. They're a, well, used to be all female, now mostly female death band from the Netherlands, I believe. They've got 2 releases out. They're getting ready to do their 3rd release fairly soon. Hopefully they tour the U.S. at some point and come anywhere near the Midwest so I can go see them. So that'd be awesome. Endless Rain. Little Pride. And then a couple of the Backwater Porn Site. And if you saw my unboxing video of this, I was surprised that I ordered 1 patch and they sent me like 3. So that was very, very cool of them. So I don't know where exactly I'm going to put them, but I will find spots for all them all. So yeah, so then we have, these are other can koozies that I took apart. There's the Down Inferno demon guy and logo. We have Echoes of the Fallen. We have Toxic Ruin. And of course with that we have their Alcoholocaust design. Omission Republic, who is no longer Omission Republic, who is now after Memphis. But they're cool too, you should check them out. An actual Gorgatron patch. A Coffin Rot patch, which I forgot about. I think that's all the local stuff, and I just have a bunch of other t-shirts. Oh, and then the other local thing is V-Space. I mean, I have to get a new shirt, one of these. This was a size too small, so I have to get a size up so I can actually wear it, but I'm going to put that on something. And then I just have a bunch of other stuff I've taken from t-shirts and are probably going to throw on something. I mean, I have a Slipknot S. I have a couple of drummer related. I got Rhythm, which I do, and a cool pair of cross sticks, which I'll put on somewhere. The full Garage Orphans logo. They finally let us out of the garage. He thought it was funny at the time. Can't read that, but it says the Black Crowes. High as the Moon Tour. This one is interesting because this is from my original bought in 1990 Megadeth Rust in Tour, Rust in Peace shirt that I wore for way too long, and now it's going to grace some article of clothing. GNR knife. If you're old enough to remember the late 80s, you probably remember some of these designs. Rolling Stones, Motley Crue, and then since I had it, Sabian, because I like Sabian. Sabian makes good shit. Zeppelin. So at some point, I'll get around to doing all the big bands, all the national bands, incorporate them in. Old school MTV logo for when they actually, again, played music. Slipknot logo from the first Slipknot t-shirt I ever owned, which again, I wore way too long. But, and then, oh, this one is cool. If you remember, way back in the late 80s, early 90s, there's a band called Urban Dance Squad. They were also from the Netherlands or Denmark or somewhere. But they were one of the first bands I saw, and this is, of course, pre, new metal, pre like Limp Bizkit and all that. That actually was, I don't know if I call them a rock band, but they were more of a rock band with a DJ. So I always thought that was cool. And then I have this. Now this is from an old shirt I wore back in junior high. Yes, I actually wore this shirt to junior high. But I always thought it was cool. Put it on the back of a jacket or something. Showing my hippie roots. And then a couple of more Rubber Brothers. It's a Romantic Rebel. Another great band that doesn't exist anymore. They're out of Illinois somewhere. Look them up. And is rock and roll dead? That's Rider. They're a band out of New York. I saw them at probably the Terminal, and they kind of kicked ass. So check them out as well. So yeah, that's all I got. All this back. And if you're wondering, oh, it doesn't look like he has enough room to put all that stuff. At some point, I saw this on clearance at Target, and I never thought I would own one, but it was like $10. So I actually picked up a white or cream kind of white jean jacket, which I will probably cover in all that stuff at some point. So, I think that's all I got. I got a couple hours before I got to leave and get over to South St. Paul so we can load up, so we can go to the terminal, so we can set up, do a show tonight, and then enjoy the next 2 days. And yeah, so hope everybody has a good night. If you're going to the Medis, have a great time. I wish I could be there. But be safe because it's going to be cold. So just keep an eye out, you know, do all that. And yeah, I guess that's it. So talk to you guys later. See ya.